Guys, so we're moving on to developing listening techniques, and I have to apologize because I posted the quiz for this lesson last week. So you guys, if you did it, you all should have got 100. And what's going to be nice is I'm going to post that quiz again for this week. So it should be really easy this week. So hopefully I get the right quiz posted for your class this week. So we're going to talk about developing listening techniques, and I'll get into what assignments to look out for at the end of this lesson. But there's quite a bit to cover, so let's get started with it. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is understand the importance of good listening skills in oral communication, and we're going to, like you see these two pictures, we're going to kind of cover all that as we move forward. Okay. So listening is only one part of communication, but it's the basis for successful communication. Because if you don't listen to what the other person's saying, that message won't get conveyed. Pretty straightforward, pretty explanatory. Okay, if you do not listen closely to the communicator, part of the message may be lost. The listener is responsible for making the effort to understand the message. Listening and hearing are not the same. You may listen to what they're saying, but you may not hear it. Okay, it's all like that selective hearing that I've been talking about. Okay, so hearing is something you need to know. Hearing is the physical process of detecting sound. That's the basic definition for hearing. And then hearing involves receiving sound waves through your ears and transmitting them to your brain. Okay, hearing is the first step of listening. Remember, you got to hear what they're saying. Okay, and hearing is the physical process of detecting sound. Again, it's in general, the listener only hears 70% of the message and remembers 50% or less. Okay, so you think about that. If the listener you only hear 70% of what they're saying, and then you can only remember 50% of the 70%. That's probably less than half of what they said. You only picked up on half of what they said. Okay, so second thing we're going to look at is identifying the phases of the listening process. Okay, and so that's like listening is an active process requiring 4 phases: receiving, attending, understanding, and recalling. And we'll talk about all those coming up. Okay, so the first phase of listening is receiving. And receiving is basically just hearing. It starts with paying attention to the speaker. It concentrates on the message rather than the speaker. And it's consciously focused on what's being said. Okay, so you're actually focusing on what the message is. Okay, so the second phase is called attending, or the desire or interest to listen. Your present motivation, beliefs, attitude affect how attentive you are. So if it's something you like, if somebody's talking about, I don't know, let's use the example of like football again. If somebody's talking about football and you love football, you're gonna listen to what that person is saying because you want to know. So the power and authority of the message source can also influence your attentiveness, and the environment or setting can also be an influential item. The third phase in listening is called understanding, and understanding is your interpretation of the message. Interpreting the message is best accomplished by putting it in your own words. If you think faster than someone can talk, you have time to process and organize information while you are listening. Okay, and then the last one is called recalling. Okay, it's remembering what you said. You hear much more than you can remember. You have to develop a technique of remembering the important things and discarding the other. Okay, so again, here's the 4 steps of listening: receiving, attending, understanding, recalling. And that may be a question somewhere for some sort of discussion or quiz. So pay attention to that. Okay, so the third objective is identifying factors that contribute to poor listening. Okay? And there are several factors that can lead to poor listening. So, turning out is when you hear someone but you are not listening to them. You might not listen if you're not interested. This can be intentionally or unintentionally. Most of the time it's unintentionally. It's just you don't even think about it because you're not interested. Okay, and then interrupting the speaker while he or she is speaking, completing the speaker sentence for him or her, poor eye contact with the speaker, or doing other things while the speaker is talking can prevent you from receiving the message. So what factors can lead to poor listening? Prejudice, bias, opinions can result in poor listening. If you do not like what the person is saying, it's natural to sometimes just not listen, and you try to avoid jumping to conclusions. Poor handling or poor hearing. Poor hearing conditions can affect listening quality. Language and vocabulary can cause poor listening. So that's those are some things that can affect it. Okay. I guess factors didn't get spelled on that one, but lack of effort can result in poor listening. It's an active process that requires some effort. Information overload. If somebody's given just way too much information all at one time, it's hard to listen. Okay, incorrect assumptions can lead to poor listening. If you're making a wrong assumption about the message, you may not listen. Okay, so again, here's the sorry, I was being a little slow with the slides, but again, here's the factors that contribute to poor listening. Turning out, interpreting the speaker, completing the speaker's sentences, not having eye contact, doing other things while trying to listen, having bias or opinions, poor hearing condition, poor vocabulary, lack of effort, too much information, incorrect assumptions. Okay, what can you do to improve your listening skills? Well, you can do these following techniques. Prepare yourself for listening. Stop talking. You can't listen if you're talking. Remove all distractions. Listen with the intent to understand. Don't worry about a response. Pay attention to nonverbal signs. Ask questions or repeat the message. Control your emotions. Have patience. Control temper. Avoid argument. Practice mental flexibility. Think ahead of the speaker. Relate to the message to similar experiences. Try to weigh the evidence. Concentrate on the speaker by clearing thoughts and feelings. Understand the goal of listening. Okay. Hear the person completely before responding. Use acknowledgement to confirm understanding. Take notes, okay, so that you can listen more actively. Organize information as you hear it. Listen for those key points in the message. Recognize common patterns of organization information, so like the chronological information first, next, then. It kind of dictates where the order of importance is that speaker designates. Okay, Comparing and contrasting is, they'll use similar, like, different in contrast. Cause and effect is used. You got to look at that. Okay. Then here's the 10 ways to improve listening. Prepare yourself to listen with intent to understand, control emotions, practice mental flexibility, concentrate on the speaker, understand the goal of listening, hear the person completely, use acknowledgement to confirm understanding, take notes, organize the information as you hear it. Okay, and then just to review, what is your summary is, why are good listening skills important? What is the process to follow in proper listening? Listen and explain the factors that can lead to poor listening. In what ways can incorrect assumptions lead to poor listening? What can be done to improve listening skills? Okay, so that's it for this week. So for assignments, I'm going to give a discussion with the video, and then tomorrow or Tuesday, I will post a quiz. So you need to be on the lookout for that. And just the quiz, like I said, guys, will be the same quiz as last week. It's just going to make a lot more sense because it's for this week. So if you have any questions on anything, again, just let me know, guys, and I'll, if I mess up or something, I'll try to make it right. So, just let me know what questions you have and how I can help you guys out. Okay, we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.